you must never let anything stop you.
Mm.
When you find there's a wall in front of you, all you have to think in your mind that all you need to do is take one step forward and you'll push that wall back.
Mm.
The beginning to any action is just take one step forward. That's all you need to do. The rest will come on its own. But if
Yes.
you're not willing to take that step, you'll always stay stuck in the same place.
Three, two, one.
That's really,
I've
really
done it with quite a few students, actually.
nice. So what about if a person struggling with learning a new language, they believe, let's say Chinese is so hard, I will never get good at it. How can you transform their like limiting belief? Sometimes it's not because of the language, it's because their own belief in their mind, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Because our brains are like computers. We are made to learn. We are created to learn. There is nothing that's too difficult. All it needs is practice, the
Mhm.
right kind of practice. So
Yeah.
it depends on you being the teacher, how you're going to transfer that information to your student.
Mhm.
What is your mode of giving them that information? And how can they accept that information from you? So
Mhm.
again, are they more will they need to look at the characters while they're listening to you, identify how to do the strokes?
Mhm.
Or is it more of they need to say it to themselves so they can stick into their mind? But for them to write, it's all mechanical. They need to practice with their hands.
That's
So
right.
it depends on the flow of how they grab the pencil, the positioning of it in their hand, and how they are drawing it. It's like it's like a dance
Mhm.
when you're writing characters like in Chinese.
Yes.
You have to know how to move and you have to know how to flow in order to bring out the best. In
Yes.
my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It does take some practice, especially when it comes to learning a language. You need to have the input first, make sure you have the input, then the output means that you need to speak more. So when it comes to learning characters, you need to practice more. That's how they can
Yeah,
write very beautiful Chinese characters, right?
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
believe for everyone, when it comes to learning language, we will make some mistakes, not just language, for everything we do in life. So I was just curious, Yasmin. So in your career, what are some of the mistakes you made previously, and what
Uh,
did you learn from it? Because many people, they are afraid of making mistakes. They are afraid of problems, but actually problems make us grow, make us become so much stronger. So what are some of the mistakes you made and what did you learn?
that is a very, very good question. For me, my biggest mistake is procrastination.
Oh, yes. For
I
most of
should
us,
have
I
done
have it
this.
as well.
I should have done this a long time ago. I keep saying, how many people could I've helped along the way if I had just done it earlier? If I
Mhm.
had just believed in myself and I just got going.
That's
That
right.
is my biggest mistake, procrastination, not believing that I can take that step forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
My my boss, many, many years ago, he taught me something very important. He said, you must never let anything stop you.
Mm.
When you find there's a like a wall in front of you, all you have to think in your mind that all you need to do is take one step forward and you'll push that wall back.
Mhm.
The beginning to any action is just take one step forward. That's all you need to do. The rest will come on its own. But
Yes.
if you're not willing to take that step, you'll always stay stuck in the same place.
Mhm.
That's my biggest mistake. I didn't take a step forward when I should have done it.
Mhm. Yes, very profound.
Um, I could have helped so many more people along the way. I could have changed so many lives and eased so much pain if I had started earlier.
Mhm.
And I've learned the lesson to trust. in the process that if I feel anything is coming in my way, to trust that there's a reason why I need to do this. Like when you invited me for the interview, of course I was nervous. Of course I was, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? How am I going to do this?
Yes.
But I trusted it. I said, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm not going to prepare papers. I'm going to speak my truth. That is very important. Speak your truth. We have to accept ourselves with all of our flaws. We have to be able to accept ourselves and really look at ourselves in the mirror. See who we are and what we want to achieve. Without that, we'll always stay stuck because we'll be deceiving ourselves of a future that cannot exist because we're basing it on false information. Be true to ourselves, take a step forward, and let momentum carry you.
Yes, exactly. Because action drives our thought. Whenever we are afraid, we just take the action, we just do it. Then
Absolutely.
achieve it, right?
Yeah.
And for me,
just take that step.
Yes. For me, it's the same. I was in the business session, and the lecture actually was taught by the multimillionaire, right? And we have the same mentor, and that mentor.
Yeah.
And I attended the meeting, and I had the chance to ask him the question. And I was very nervous as well, because in my life, I haven't got a chance to talk to a person in that high position, right? I was so freaked out, so nervous, and I prepared a question in advance. And I just did it. And he was so nice, and he answered all my questions. Actually, it's easier than I think. So
you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you, maybe you are afraid, right? So don't be afraid. Just do it. Just do it. Action drives our thought. It works.
And so what if it doesn't work out? So what? What's the worst
so
thing?
what? You lose
If
nothing,
it didn't
right?
work out, you've come up. Never think of it as, oh, I failed. No. I don't believe in failure. There's no such thing as failure. There's a chance of you to develop, to learn more. You've only found out a way that this process does not work. Check it off of your list. But you can try something else. Pursue it. Never give up. Keep getting up. Keep putting your foot forward. You'll just know that that's not the right road. Maybe you need to take the side road a little bit more. If it's not the left one, go for the right one.
That's right.
But never give up.
That's right. If we persist, we keep changing our approach, we will get what we want. But the problem is most of the people, they give up too soon. They feel like something is too hard, so they want to give up. They just give up too soon, right?
Yes. And why do you think that happens?
I believe it's because of the limiting beliefs. They believe they are not enough and not good enough. That's why it's very important to have the coach to guide them to find out the truth. I believe it's the line they've been telling to themselves. If a person who's keeping telling himself, I'm not good enough, and I think that the mind, our brain is like a bank, right? ATM machine. And whenever you want to do something, and if you tend to listen to the negative belief, it will remind you, remember what you did last time you failed, something like this. And the more negative thoughts you tend to listen to, and the more disempowering you will feel, right? And you will not do anything about it. So this is what I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially in this world we live in, where we're living in a world of copiers, as I call them. None of it. They're just copying other people, but that's not their own truth. So when anything happens along the way, they will stumble and fall because they haven't built their structure properly. They haven't started from the base frame. They just started up high, and they've got nothing in the middle to hold them up. So any wind will knock them down. They need to have a proper structure. That's why originality is important. There's nothing wrong with taking an idea that already exists and developing it. That's fine, because that's not structure. What's not okay, I'm not saying that it's not okay as in you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's not okay as in you won't have you won't have like a solid framework to it.
Yes.
It's not okay to take something and just copy it without understanding what it's about. Because anybody who comes up and says, well, why did you do this? They won't know why, because they don't have
Yes.
the ins and outs of the system.
Yes, that's right. And that reminds me, actually, I talked to some business owners. Sometimes I ask them, why would you like to start up your business? And they don't even know the reason why. And that's why they feel very tired in running their business. They feel frustrated that they don't even want to go to the office because they don't know the reason why. And they just want to make money. And after a few years later, they feel very tired and they want to go to enter another business, right? So it's called shiny object syndrome. So
Absolutely.
why is very, very important. And I also ask my students, why would you like to learn Chinese? Why? What's the reason why? If they don't know the reason why, I believe it's very hard for them to stick to it every day to learn this language. So it's really important to find our purpose, our reason why we're doing what we're doing now. If you don't know it, I believe it's a waste of the time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you don't know why you're doing something, how do you know this is what you're meant to do?
Yes. Yes.
And if you don't know that this is meant to do, how can you make a difference in the world? See, we've all been created with a path. I believe we've all been created to contribute something to the world. There are about 8 billion people on the planet at the moment.
Yes.
Right? Each one of us has a role to play. But if we don't know what it is, and we don't know what we're doing, and we don't enjoy what we're doing, we're giving negativity. For that person to come and spend all of that time trying to set up a business that they don't even know why they're doing it.
Yes.
They get, as you said, they get very emotional, they get tired all the time, etc., etc. What have they accomplished?
I think nothing. They just earn money, right?
What have they done for their employees, if they had employees? What lessons did they teach their employees? See, every boss is a teacher.
That's
Each
right.
one of us is a teacher, and we all have people that we need to teach and help along the way. But if we don't know what we're doing, and if we're lost within ourselves, how can we be teachers? And what message are we going to give to the next generation? Is it okay for you not to know what you're doing and be lost? Or is it better to give them a solid foundation and tell them, do what you love?
That's right.
And do the best that you can. When you do anything, do the best that you can. Do it with pure emotion. Don't do it because you're greedy for money. Don't do it for anything else. Everything will happen in its due course. When you do something good, karma, you'll get it back.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And I learned that there's a concept in marketing. It's called karmic marketing. That means if you treat your suppliers, your clients, your, let's say, employees really well, and you help them to succeed, and they will come back to you. They will make you even more successful. That's called karmic marketing. And this is
absolutely.
Yes, it's kind of like Asian culture, right? We Asian people, we believe in karma. If you treat other people badly, and eventually you will get a karma, some bad things will happen to you, and vice versa. So yes, exactly. I absolutely
that
agree
is
with what you say.
I'm really glad you brought that up, actually, because that does summarize a lot of things, especially when people are in business.
Yes.
If they don't pay attention to that, what does that say about us as a culture? What does that say about us as humanity? How is that going to move us forward? How can we achieve the next level? If we don't have that connections, if we're not doing things out of purity and out of joy and out of wanting to do good and thinking about karma, how is that going to take us to the next step?
That's right. That's right.
All that stress, all that tension,
Mhm.
it's
That's
going to
right.
come back.
Yeah, yeah, it will. It will for
You
sure.
don't want that in your life, do you?
Yes.
Life is a mirror. What you give, you'll see in return. The same thing with handwriting, the same thing with therapy or coaching. What you see, what you portray is what you're going to get back.
Yes.
If you do proper handwriting, beautiful handwriting, especially in Chinese or, people will see you and think, oh, this person is reliable. This person is good. This person's got a future ahead of them because they're taking the time. They've worked on themselves. It's the first thing when you look into a mirror. Do you like what you see or you don't like what you see? They haven't met you. They don't know anything about you, but they can see your handwriting. And
Yes.
that speaks a lot about a person. Just looking at it will tell you a lot about a person.
Exactly. And you mentioned our life is like a mirror, right? And for those of the people who have kids, actually, you as a parent, it's like we are the mirror for the kids, right? Yes, the kids will
Exactly.
mimic what you are doing, right? Especially for some parents, they tell their kids, you need to do well in school, you need to study hard. But the problem is they are not even work hard. So it's like they lose the credibility for their kids. The kids won't even listen to them. The kids will like,
Exactly.
you are not even work hard. Why should I study hard?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially nowadays with social media, you see a lot of people, like, I don't know, all the videos and all the things that we
Yes.
see in
Yes.
the news, people just looking at their phone, walking around with their phone all the time, and their child is like running around and God knows they're not even
Yeah.
paying attention because they're so sucked into it.
Mhm.
But what is that saying to your child? What freedoms are you giving to your child? Are you giving them way too much freedom too early? What are they going to understand? Who are they going to be learning from? Whereas you have to be the teacher yourself.
Yes.
Teaching starts from home, I believe. It is my opinion. Every family has their own situation. Every family has the right to do things the way they want.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But the household, especially in the beginning years of a child's life, that's
Yes.
the most important thing because that's when you will install all of the necessary, vital
Mhm.
teaching and information for a child to grow up to be secure in the future.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, Yasmin, for those of the people who would like to enjoy your service, what do you think is the best way for them to reach out to you?
I think the best way would be through my website.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, it's the letters for PTHA coaching.com. So P for perception,
Okay.
T for through, H for handwriting, and A for analysis coaching.com. PTHA coaching.com.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And thank you, Yasmin. So before we go, is there anything you would like to say to our audience and listeners?
I want to be very humble and tell them thank you so much for giving me this time to share with you. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure of entertaining you. I hope during this hour.
Yeah, you did.
I hope you will benefit from it. And I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to working with you. And I'm very grateful to you, Kelly, for providing me this space. It has been an absolute honor. And
Oh.
I'm really happy to have met you and your audience. Thank you.
Wow, welcome, welcome. Thank you again to Yasmin for your time. And that's all for this episode of the Kelly Show. If you like my show, make sure you subscribe my channel and hit the notification. Until next time, stay tuned.